unfavorable properties that must be respected by the doctor who is administering such a potentially dangerous drug. The unfavorable properties are that it leads to respiratory and cardiovascular depression. There's a narrow margin between sedation and full general anesthesia. And what that means is there's a continuum between a light or conscious sedation and full general sedation or anesthesia. And you need to be expert in that field and knowledgeable to be able to track that continuum and have the safety measures and precautions in place so that if the patient passes through that continuum to a deeper level of sedation, you have to ensure, as the doctor in charge, as the doctor with the legal duty of care, that you can manage any consequences that come forward. Also leads to the loss of ability to breathe and the ability to maintain your airway. And finally, because of these properties, things can go bad very quickly. Very quickly. And if you are not knowledgeable and competent and prepared, it will lead to the death of your patient. The package insert that comes with it, that every single person would see if they just opened up the package, in plain text indicates that continuous monitoring is essential. Facilities for maintenance of a patent airway must be immediately available. This is in the package insert. Patients should be continuously monitored for early signs of hypotension, apnea, airway obstruction, and/or oxygen desaturation. A simple reading of the package insert would impress upon a competent medical doctor the precautions that need to be taken and the inherent dangers of using such an agent without the skills and knowledge and resuscitative equipment to handle it appropriately. In this case, you will hear about propofol. You will hear the science of propofol. You'll hear about the concentrations of propofol. And as it relates to this case, what you'll hear, there are two separate vial sizes. It comes in a 100 milliliter vial. It's about that big, and that's the large vial. It additionally comes in a 20 milliliter vial, which is it's about that big. Each of these vials has the same concentration, and that is for each milliliter, there are 10 milligrams of propofol. 10 milligrams of propofol for each milliliter. So for the 100 milliliter vial, it's 1,000 milligrams of propofol. For the 20 milliliter vial, it's 200 milligrams of propofol. Now, how did propofol come to play a role in this case? Well, we know, as I indicated before, that in March 2009, Michael had enlisted the services of Conrad Murray, and Dr. Murray had quickly told his patients that he would be leaving medicine indefinitely. We also know that Conrad Murray then sought out a pharmacist, that Dr. Murray made arrangements with that pharmacist to purchase very large quantities of propofol on a regular basis. What we learned is that Dr. Murray went to Applied Pharmacy in Las Vegas and met with pharmacist Tim Lopez. Conrad Murray was not honest with Tim Lopez, and Conrad Murray indicated that he had a clinic in California when no such clinic or medical office existed. Conrad Murray indicated he had a large client base in California and that he wanted to get, eventually made arrangements to get shipments of propofol sent to what he characterized as his medical office in Santa Monica. What we know now to be what he characterized as his medical office was the apartment of his girlfriend and the mother of one of his children, Nicole Alvarez. So these arrangements were made between Conrad Murray and Tim Lopez, and the shipments began taking place from Applied Pharmacy in Las Vegas to the apartment of Nicole Alvarez, Conrad Murray's girlfriend. There was no medical practice, as I indicated, and the shipments began on April 6, 2009. On April 6, 2009, we know there was a shipment of propofol to Nicole Alvarez's address. And in that shipment were 10 bottles of the large 100 milliliter bottles, 1,000 milligrams of propofol each. There were also 25 of the 20 milliliter bottles in this first shipment of April 6, 2009. This first shipment, Conrad Murray's first order of business, resulted in a shipment of 15,000 milligrams of propofol to the apartment of Nicole Alvarez. But the shipments did not end with just that first shipment. On April 28th, there was another shipment of propofol to the apartment of Nicole Alvarez. This shipment was larger, 40 of the large 100 milliliter bottles, accompanied by 25 of the 20 milliliter bottles. This shipment accounted for 45,000 additional milligrams of propofol. Following the April 28th shipment, we had a shipment of midazolam and lorazepam, sedative agents that Conrad Murray also admits to having administered to Michael Jackson